attention. He's got it. Throw to first. He did it. He did it. Dallas Braden has thrown a perfect game.
I think it's safe to say that that perfect game thrown by Dallas Braden on Mother's Day has to be the best individual performance on Mother's Day in Major League Baseball history. So of course I had to intro the video with Mr. Braden. I've had the chance to meet him on a couple different occasions. Just an awesome guy, and the backstory as to why that moment was so special because he lost his mother. Just an absolute class act, an amazing figure in baseball, and he moves the game in the right direction. So I wanted to give him a quick shout out. Also, happy Mother's Day to every mother who is watching right now. I mean, I wouldn't be here without my mom. She really shaped who I am and really just loved me better than anyone else. My mom and my dad, they were a great team growing up, and here I am. So thank you all so much for your support. I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. I do miss the pink bats. I wish that baseball was in action. I love Mother's Day. So what we're going to do to end the video is we're going to show a whole bunch of Mother's Day highlights that have happened over the last decade or so. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. But we have huge news to talk about. 3 separate topics. Baseball is coming back. I have an update on that. Alex Bregman got trolled so hard that he deleted his Twitter. And then last but not least, the MLB draft is changing to only 5 rounds, and I'm going to explain why that is the worst thing that we can possibly do. Prospects are not going to they're not going to get paid, and that really sucks. So make sure you guys watch the entire video. We are on the road to 200,000 subs. So if anything, the only thing that my mom wants for Mother's Day is for you guys to hit that sub button. So make sure you guys do that. Slap a like if you want to see more MLB recaps. But I guess the first thing that we need to talk about is the update on when baseball is coming back. So I've reported in the past via Trevor Plouffe and a bunch of different MLB sources that we should resume action on July 1st. Now there is some additional information that we've unearthed. There is going to be a 2 to 3 week spring training. I think we all know that, but there's actually a new plan in place that is going to dictate how many games are played in 2020. And that number is 80. So there's going to be 80 games starting July 1st. So I don't think that there's going to be an All-Star break, which really sucks because I live in Las Vegas. The All-Star break was going to be in LA. So it's a 3-hour drive. I get to do a show. But of course, with the 80 games, there's also going to be a different structure in place if this plan does go through. So the 80 games combined with their regional division plan. So what does that mean? Teams that are out in the East are going to play each other both from the National League and the American League. So the Red Sox, they might have to play the Pirates, or I'll throw up the graphic right now because I don't remember exactly which team is playing where, but you still have the Yankees versus the Red Sox, but you also have the Phillies playing the Yankees, which is going to be an absolutely awesome time. I'm down for that. Only for 2020, just because this year is a big crapshoot. There's not really much that you can do. So 80 games, I'm okay with that for 2020. But going forward in 2021, go back to the actual standings and division. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think that we're ready as an entire country to resume baseball, or do you think that we should wait a little bit with the whole COVID-19 stuff going on? That's completely done. Now we're going to move on to Mr. Alex Bregman and also Lance McCullers. They were memed and trolled so hard over the last couple weeks that they actually deactivated their Twitter, and I don't really blame them. Now, of course, I don't think that any of us really like Alex Bregman or any of the Astros players right now, but they're going through a lot in terms of their personal life right now. Bregman's podcast on his YouTube, I think that it's nice because it's quarantine content. I really like listening to podcasts because there's nothing else to do, and it's Alex Bregman. But unfortunately, because of what he's done in the past, he is getting bombarded with hate. And yesterday, I don't know if it was because McCullers got hacked, or maybe Bregman was about to get hacked, but they both said sayonara to Twitter and also their social medias in terms of YouTube and Instagram, and I'm sure TikTok. They're all getting flamed with bang bang and trash can comments, so I don't think that's going to stop anytime soon. It's just light trolling. I mean, I've probably put up a montage of all the memes that I've seen on Twitter. Nothing is really all too bad. It's just pointing out the obvious, that they cheated, they used trash cans, and there's nothing really more that we can say. So let me know, what do you guys make of Alex Bregman and Lance McCullers deactivating their Twitter? Do you think that it's about time, or do you think that they're being soft? Now, this is something that we are going to spend the majority of the video talking about, because this is just not right, and I don't know what Robert Manfred is doing. I've had friends drafted in the 6th round or the 12th round. Now, I do want to give you guys one stat before I talk about what is actually happening. In 2019, players that were drafted from the 6th to 10th round averaged either $142,000 to $301,000. That is life-changing money. Now, I know a lot of people come from an affluent background. They maybe don't need that money, but let's say that you come from an impoverished community. $301,000 as a 6th round pick is a ton of money. Why does that matter this year? Fast forward into 2020, there's only going to be 5 rounds. So you have round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's it. So let's say that you were a top prospect. I mean, a top prospect, in my opinion, is anyone in the first 7 rounds. I think that you can find some really good talent, but also, I mean, there are guys like Paul Goldschmidt, Trey Mancini, Mitch Garver, Howie Kendrick, Matthew Boyd, Kevin Pillar, Wade Boggs, Fred McGriff, Goose Gossage, Andre Dawson, Nolan Ryan, Albert Pujols, Jim Thome. I mean, the list goes on and on about players that were drafted after the 5th round. And in 2020, they might not have a chance to play because you are only going to get $20,000. That sounds like a lot of money, but if you're going to sign a 2 or 3 year contract, that is nothing. $20,000 is a minimum wage job over the course of a full calendar year, and they might get that for a year or 2. Now, I will say, because there's 5 rounds, right? So the cream of the crop is going to get their money, and they are going to get drafted. The only pro that I can see is you now have a chance to pick where you want to go. So let's say that you were a 6th round, you were getting calls from the Orioles, the Yankees, the Indians, the Braves, the Nationals. You can now choose who you want to go to. So, I mean, that could be a thing. The Yankees could absolutely stack up on 6th and 7th, 8th round draft picks because, like I mentioned it before, there have been a ton of All-Star and Hall of Fame talents coming after the 5th round. I mean, even some more. Ian Kinsler, Kenny Lofton, Brett Saberhagen, Don Mattingly, John Smoltz, Roy Oswalt, Jorge Posada, Travis Hafner, Mike Piazza was drafted in the 62nd round. Now, they don't go 62 rounds anymore, but it just proves the point that I don't know what they're thinking. They're obviously trying to save some money and try and just expedite the process of drafting players. I mean, the NFL draft was pretty fun. I don't know why Robert Manfred thinks that he has to really just throw it all up and hope that it sticks. I'm going to wrap it up in a bow for you guys. The 2020 MLB draft will only be 5 rounds, and anyone drafted after that is technically not a draft. They will be free agents, and they can sign with whoever they want for $20,000. So again, I've told you guys the stat. From 6 rounds to 10, they were getting about $142,000 to $301,000 as a signing bonus. That doesn't even include the contract. So these guys are going to miss out on a ton of money. And then one stat I do want to tell you guys, just because 6th round players and late round draft picks, they mean a lot to the game of baseball. So 1,410 players played in at least one Major League Baseball game, okay? So 1,410 baseball players played at least one game. 46% of those 1,400 players that played last year were taken from the 6th round and beyond. That is 483 players that now might not get a chance to go follow their passions and their dreams because $20,000 might not be enough. Let's say that you're a 20-year-old fresh adult, but you just had a son or a daughter. How are you going to pay for medical expenses? How are you going to pay for rent on $20,000? So I think it's something that we really have to take into account. This could really hurt the game in a super negative way. Again, the only pro to this is the fact that they get to choose where they want to go. So if you're a really good talent, instead of being stuck with a bad team like the Marlins or the Orioles, you can go to the Yankees. You can go to the Dodgers. I mean, that's the only pro that I can think of. But I've listed off all of the cons. It's not going to be good for players in their pockets. We've seen that, plenty of talent has come from the 6th round and beyond. I just don't understand why we have to change it, because realistically, it only saves money for the clubs because they've lost so much revenue by missing games. So because there's an 80-game schedule in the works, all of that TV revenue has been lost. They're going to share all the TV revenue over the course of this next, 4 or 5 months. I don't know what Robert Manfred is doing. It really makes you think, where is baseball going as a game? Because it's not right, and in my opinion, it's not fair to all of the guys that have really grinded the last 3 years in college. Because remember, you have to play 3 years of college baseball to be eligible for the draft. So let's say that you, again, I've said this before in the video, if you were a 3-year starter, you're a junior now, you're eligible, you are going to be drafted in the 6th round, you are literally missing out on $280,000+. That's got to be a shot to the gut. And I don't know. So I guess I'll leave it there. What do you guys make of all this madness? Bregman's off Twitter. You have baseball coming back to an 80-game schedule and kind of everyone playing against each other. But that's going to do it for today's video. Again, happy Mother's Day to everyone who is watching right now. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. And we're going to go ahead and end it with a few highlights that happened on Mother's Day over the past couple seasons and years. So thank you guys for watching. Remember to sub, like, and enjoy the highlights.
High fly ball, deep right field. Happy Mother's Day! Gone! Guess who wants to use the pink bat again tomorrow? That one's for you, Ma.
1-2 pitch and a swing and a shot into right field. It is a base hit. And Freddie Lewis, the rookie, has hit for the cycle in Denver. The only other rookie to ever do it with the San Francisco Giants, maybe a little unlikely, Dave Kingman.
Head deep center field. Hank Hill going back at the warning track. It's gone. It's gone. A walk-off grand slam home run. A long-distance Mother's Day present for Votto. Joey, 3 home runs, and look at this at home plate.
Ice cream for everybody.